Coming up on Tuesday night on NBATV, it is fan night. How about the Bulls and Nuggets? A real good one coming up at 9 Eastern for tip. We begin at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time with the Auto Trader pregame show. As we get you ready for Bulls, we look back at what happened with Jimmy Butler against the Lake Show. He told Fred Hoiberg before the game, I'm putting 40 on him. Guess what? He put 40 on him. He's been red hot lately, was huge in the win over the Lake Show, who have been upstarts so far. But we start to look at the circus trips. I like that music, 3D. You like that? Starting to get into that?
Hey, I like
work that. I see Bones dancing across the floor. Last 5 years in the circus trips, this is as good as you've seen with the 3-1 start. And a big reason for that clearly is the fact that Jimmy Butler has been Jimmy Buckets here over the last few games. What are you watching with him that has put him kind of in this zone, locked in with 40 against the Lakers over the weekend?
Key phrase is attack mode. I think being a part of USA basketball, being around all those superstars, he learned how they prepare themselves for the game. And then having a guy like D. Wade in training camp saying, no, Jimmy, go play your game. I'm here to help you. I'm going to be who I am. And now you throw in Rajon Rondo into the mix. Now he's throwing the ball ahead. Now Jimmy's getting the ball. He's attacking the defense, getting to the free throw line. You talk about that Laker game. How many times would he get in that paint, either get fouled or get a layup or dunk? Right now, attack mode for Jimmy Butler.
We talk about two of the best players so far this year. DeRozan doesn't take threes. Butler going to the paint. Highest points per possession on the fast break this season. Only Kevin Durant is higher. But it's also helped him having Dwayne Wade. What's been the impact that D. Wade has had so far on Butler?
Well, I think D. Wade has told Jimmy, you have to be who you are. This is your team. I'm going to be D. Wade. Everyone knows who I am, but if you're not attacking the defense, if you're not being the focal point of our offense, now people are not going to worry about you. Then I get the basketball, I'm able to do my thing. So right now, the whole team, even Coach Hoiberg, understands, let's keep Jimmy in his sweet spot and keep him in attack mode.
I think Wade's just trying to get on 3D TV because he's hitting more threes than we're used to seeing. He's trying to get in that shooter's paradise, and it's working. What are you seeing when he gets out there at the key today?
Well, he got out to a fast start, knocked down some threes, had a little dry spell there where he got a little cool, so to speak. And now the last couple of games, he's starting to pick it back up. I just think that now he's freer on the offensive end to shoot the basketball. I think in years past, being in Miami, it wasn't part of the makeup for D-Wade to shoot the three because LeBron and et cetera. But now D-Wade's like, wait a minute, let me flash back to 06 when I won my first championship where I shot more threes, drove more, and this was more free on the offensive end. I think that's what we're seeing at older D-Wade at this point in his career.
All right, I like that. Now, I know you were known for shooting. You want to pass me the ball because I got to go across the
Yeah, here you go.
All right, thanks.
Take it on over there.
I got it. Now, we're going over to Bones here. Take a look, because this is why they just want to walk to show. It's the only shot you'll get of me without somebody way taller. Bones, did you say 3 E's? Did you buy a vowel? There's actually 3 E's in this, as I Vanna White to you. Here over on the other side. We talked some Nuggets basketball, and when you look at the kids that we've seen in the NBA, starting to get more comfortable. How about Jamal Murray and what you saw against the Jazz in the win over the weekend?
Pretty impressive stuff there in Denver, as a lot of people are still waiting for glimpses of these young guys. 18 points against the Utah Jazz team, stepping in and knocking down some shots. So, you know, him getting out there, Will Barton being back in the lineup for the Denver Nuggets, looking for a little bit of health. But Jamal Murray is tantalizing because the other guy that we're going to talk about has struggled this year, and we'll get to Emmanuel Mudiay. But Murray looked good against the Jazz.
He did, and having Will Barton back for Denver is important. Missed 9 games.
Yep.
Getting him back in the offense, they need options. Then you talk about Mudiay. We've seen the biggest quarter he's had this season, so we've seen the ups. We've seen the downs. There's a lot put on him. Doesn't exactly have the most help. What are you seeing in the progress? We're talking about the process with Embiid. What's the process now with Mudiay?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what's happened for Coach Malone in Denver, because Mudiay was basically given the keys last year to go out and play. So he was going to make a ton of mistakes, was going to learn where it is that he could have been effective on the floor. And we'll take a look at some of the things where, at least one play, where we know he can be dynamic as he moves forward in this process. High screen and roll, the big guy steps up. As soon as the defender's behind you in this instance and you have the ball as a point guard, especially with the physicality that he could play with, you can go in and finish. What's been a little bit problematic for Mudiay is what the other teams are doing to challenge him, Casey, and that is this. Denver's run a little flex cut on this out-of-bounds play. You see the disconnect here with McCollum and Mudiay, but because he's not a confident three-point shooter or a capable three-point shooter, he decides to look at the basket and hesitate a little bit. That allows McCollum to come out and challenge him. It makes the shot that much more difficult. Here's another possession for Denver. Bad spacing. 3 Raptors get to Mudiay. clock is winding down. The Nuggets don't spread the floor all that well in this possession. He's going to end up getting the ball back at the top of the key. He can't see down low to his big man that's got good post position. There's too much traffic. Again, working against the shot clock here, so he has to settle for something from the outside. He doesn't want to do this. He's challenged by Siakam, the challenge on the three-point shot. And it's just where he's struggling. He's shooting 37% from the field this year. If he's not turning the ball over, there are games where it feels like going 4 of 16 feels like more turnovers because there's not that kind of production from there. So Nuggets are in a really interesting dilemma. Good young players, talented young players that need time on the floor. Then you look at their veteran guys where it's Gallinari and it's Fareed and it's Chandler. So do those guys need to play the minutes to win games? Or do the young guys need that experience so you can accelerate their process? It's a tight juggling act for Coach Malone.
I have another dilemma. How do you get number 1 tennis player Novak Djokovic on the team? Because they have Nurkic and Jokic.
Yes,
I mean, it's the dynamic duo-ish, kind of.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting because Summer League, there was a lot of good buzz about the minutes that these guys could potentially play together. And so Mike Malone decided we're going to try it at the beginning of the year. They tried it for the first 5 games, 6, 7 games. What was it? 8 games. Started the first 8 games together, and it just wasn't working out. They didn't have the kind of spacing that I think that both of those players need. They didn't have the shooting that they needed. You compound all of those things with the injuries they had, so inconsistencies in the lineup, they've decided to go away from that. And so they're trying to get this health and this rhythm with both of the itches out there and scratch one of those itches and get those guys to play a lot more consistent and have the balance in the lineup that they need. But again, it comes back to the dilemma of the youth being served versus what you have with these veteran players. And the last thing I'll say is Coach Malone talked last year about we were establishing our culture and we wanted guys to develop. This is the year with health that he expects to put wins on the board. They're 5-8. If you looked at the games that they've lost, they've been very, 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 very competitive. So they're close. We'll see if they start to get some consistency.